And we are back with another day in the market, and we're going to start with the S&P 500 just really quick, and then we're going to get into some call outs I made this morning. We're going to see how they did on the day and where I think they're headed, and then we're going to follow up with some of the big guys like Baba, NVDA, Apple, those kinds of stocks. All right, so let's get into it. First, right now, nothing too crazy on the S&P 500. We're up 0.19%. This trend line is continuing and all systems are go as far as the RSI, the MACD, the two moving averages, and the market bias indicator. However, one thing to just consider is that we are now the signal line is now above the MACD line, which can indicate potentially a bearish trend, but nothing too crazy yet. And same deal where we are going to be looking for the next couple of days or so whether or not this simple moving average is going to act as a support as it has been or as a resistance, which would be a change in momentum. So the first one that I called out this morning is UIHC, ticker symbol UIHC. Reason why is because we are actually all systems go as far as all of our indicators. I actually used a screener to find this one crossing the zero line on the MACD. So that's how I found this one. So we definitely did that. We did that on the 24th. We are blue above yellow as far as the moving averages, so that's all good for a long position. And then we are above the market bias indicator right here, which is very important for going long. And then we, like I said, we cross above the MACD and we are above the zero line with the RSI and currently using the simple moving average as support. So all of those are good. All right. So I like to give both sides, both cases here. So we are going to give some negatives. All right. So the positives obviously is that it meets all of our criteria for entry. One negative is we are a little late on it. I just didn't get it fully out in time. I should have made a video Friday, but I didn't. However, it's not necessarily a bad thing because we are still inflected to the upside on the MACD. But to bring a bearish case a little bit here, or just something to be cautious about, is let's go to the weekly and take a look here. You can see that we are actually still below the market bias indicator on the weekly. So we could absolutely see a bounce to the downside. And we are inflecting a little bit on the MACD here. If we just bring that up, although we looks like we might be turning that histogram back green, which is what we really would like to see. So this obviously looks very different than the rest of these highs and lows, right? It looks like it kind of broke trend. But with that said, we could even see some come down like that and do like a reverse head and shoulders before we head up. And so that's something to be careful about if you are going to enter. The safe case, or one case for bulls, if you wanted to get in right now, would be the fact that we came up, we came down, we retested this moving average, and then we moved back up. So, it's a little early as far as the weekly is concerned, but it is definitely something to pay attention to, and definitely something to put on your stock watch list, I should say. One other downside I should mention, if you go down to like the 1 minute, and let's just bring up auto, you can see it's low volume. Now it is above 1 million trade volume for the day, but you can see it's low volume. So again, that's something you really want to pay attention to and really weigh your pros and cons as far as the volume. Another one is ADMA, which again has lower volume on the 1 minute. I do believe this has a little bit more volume than the other one though. So let's just go. So that's one con, but let's go to the daily. Now this one is looking pretty nice. On the daily, it looks like we have a long established trend right here. And it looks like we just bounced off of this market bias indicator about a couple weeks ago. And we on about 10 trading days or so, maybe, we've been on this continued uptrend. And again, same as before, I had a little bit of a late call out. This one had a bullish entry on the 27th, but we are currently up 2.98%. And I did call that one out before this day right here. So you would have been green if you would have taken it at open, because I did do that call out right before open. So let's go down to the weekly, just like we did before with UIHC. And you can see this is different and a little bit better of a case for the bulls, because we are in a green uptrend as far as the HA market bias indicator, which is the Heikin-Ashi market bias indicator. So that's really good. We do have bearish divergence right here as far as the MACD and the RSI. I'll just bring that up real quick so you can see that right here. So that's something to pay attention to. But the volatility on both of these stocks is pretty crazy. If I go down to the 1 day, and that's the benefit of playing these lower cap stocks, is that you have a lot more upside to gain. Obviously, with that means you have a lot more downside to gain. But let's go to, I'm sorry, I had to keep bouncing back and forth, but I just want to go back to the weekly to just kind of see potential upside here. Previous high, we're currently at $4.15. Previous high was at $14.02. So you could triple your profits on that if you are to go back to the previous highs just off of that. Let's check out the big boys. Let's check out NVDA real quick. And it looks like, what are we doing? We got NVDA on the weekly. Bring it down to the daily. And NVIDIA was pretty much flat, but slightly in the red. And we've had this bearish divergence right here for a little while now, but we are still yet to break it. And as far as the moving averages and as far as the market bias indicator, there's no signs that it's slowing down other than these oscillators. But you can tell before, if we bring up the MACD, we had a bearish divergence right here as well, and we blew right past that. That was this right here. We blew right past that, and you can tell it was the same with the RSI, although it looked almost flat on the RSI right there. So it was a little bit more prominent on the MACD. So as of right now, I mean, there's not much to really get in to. If you got in somewhat early, you might be thinking about maybe it's time to sell if you're playing that as a short term. We can bring up Apple. And same deal with Apple. We have this bearish divergence on both the RSI and the MACD, but I'm not seeing anything as far as any type of slowdown on the actual price action. So it's all been the same so far. And we can bring up Alibaba last, because Alibaba is actually something really interesting. We're going to get rid of all these drawings real quick. Okay, there we go. Whoops. All right, and if we just zoom in on Alibaba, what we're really gearing towards, what you saw with a lot of the tech sector stocks on this last rally, is that we had a bullish uptrend in price action just like this, while we had a cross on the MACD just like this, while we still were in a red Heikin-Ashi market bias indicator, which we have right here. And what ended up happening with Apple and Meta and all those was this just continued to come up, and then eventually this market bias indicator turned green, and then we had a continuation to the upside. So that is what this is looking like it might do, especially because we have this increase on the MACD, and the RSI has been using that yellow moving average as a support for quite some time now. So Alibaba is looking pretty decent for an entry position. It's so beat down right now, and it's such a huge important stock. It's such a big company. And so value investors like it. It's starting to look pretty juicy for trading. Both of those two things together could be a pretty good combo. So I'm really excited about Alibaba. So that's all I have for you today. If you like this video, hit the like button. It's the easiest way to help out the channel. As I'm trying to say in every one of my videos, just like every other stock channel, just a guy on YouTube giving my opinion. But if you do like my opinion, then hit the subscription bell and hit the notification bell so that you can see all of my latest content. We'll see you next time.